watching Chandler on film, he's very difficult to sack. What does he do that makes him so slippery and able to get out of those pass rushes?
Well, he's a shorter quarterback, like maybe 5'11", 6 foot. So he can move around that pocket. He's fast, elusive. His escapability is great. So if you don't have good rush lanes, he'll tear you apart. He'll extend the play for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and give his receivers time to get open. You know, it's hard on DBs covering for 5, 6, 7 seconds. That's super hard. So if you don't have good rush lanes, they'll mess you up.
And Carson was, sorry, Carter.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. By all means.
Carson was talking about like the offensive line and having like identity drives. Have you been on the other side of one of those drives in practice? Like where the offense just kind of imposes themselves and kind of just pushes their way down the field?
Yeah, I think so. You guys have seen the defense, finish games, ice games. A lot of our games have ended with the defense, but that all starts in practice. In practice, our offense they have some days, not just some days, a lot of the time Carson is just dotting everything up, just killing us. Then our O-line is doing great in protection. So it starts in practice, and our team, our offense, they make us who we are. They help us become who we are. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know if we'd be able to end games like we have.
You talking about the importance of not letting Trinidad extend plays too much. That, to me, it feels like one of the biggest differences maybe since the SMU game, whereas early in the year you guys would get in the backfield, but maybe not finishing with the sack as often. And certainly the last 2 games in the playoff, the sack numbers have been off the charts. What's been different? Why has that changed?
I'm not sure. I feel like we have the same approach. It's probably just we try to be more disciplined in our rush lanes rather than me and Ruben flying up the field and getting behind the quarterback. Now if we're going too far upfield, we're counter inside or we're turning into power. The guys inside like Ahmad, Blade, Jay Scott, rather than rushing outside at the 3 tech and getting too far upfield and opening that A gap, they're turning it into power. So our inside guys are knocking the pocket back, and then me and Ruben are collapsing from the outside. So I feel like that's the biggest thing. And then we're finishing as well.
Yeah.
And then if somebody does miss a sack, we have a second player into the sack. That second player misses a sack, we have a third player. So everybody is swarming to the ball, and we're just playing great defense.
Corey was saying that one of the things it's hard when you're not the QB is not live throughout spring or fall camp or whatever it is. Like say, oh yeah, that would have been a sack, but he didn't actually get to. Is there? And he said that later in the year you've kind of maybe put more emphasis on getting better thud drills and stuff like that for exactly probably what you're talking about. Have you noticed that sort of make a difference in your approach?
I think the biggest difference is our scout team quarterback, like Judd Anderson, Joel Borchers. So those guys, they probably have it the hardest because on them we're allowed to reach for the ball. Yeah. So like they get hit, they go through a whole bunch of different things. When we do one-on-one pass rush, another quarterback, Vinny, like he gets it rough. Guys like Armando will literally tackle you in a one-on-one pass rush. So but those guys have been great for us. They help us a lot, and we've been finishing plays, and because we're allowed to touch them, swat the ball whenever they have the ball. So being able to do that during practice helps us a lot in the game.
Akheem, this game is being framed as an all-miss offense against your defense. Are you excited about that challenge?
I'm super excited. They're a super talented group, and we're a talented group as well, so I can't wait to get after it.
If you could go back and tell your 12, 13-year-old self with big dreams, something now, what would you say?
I would tell them, keep working, keep your head down, be humble, especially be humble, and just keep working, and everything will fall in line.
How is the system at Miami?
Well, it starts with our strength and conditioning. Before we had Coach Feld, and then Coach Irv was with him as well as an assistant, and going straight into Coach Irv, it wasn't like a new face. So Coach Irv helped us a lot. So strength and conditioning, and then Coach Heatherman coming in and implementing his defense into this team and his mentality on how a defense should be has been huge. The past 2 years we played 3-down defense, which was super hard. I didn't really like it, but Coach Heatherman came in, we played mainly 4-down, and he just lets the defense, lets the D-line go. I feel like it's a D-line oriented defense, and then the talent that we have on the D-line helps everybody else around us.
What is the first word you think about when you think about Fiesta Bowl and being in Arizona?
What's the first
Word that you think about when you think Fiesta Bowl?
Fiesta party? I guess I'm not sure.
And what's on your bucket list to do in Arizona?
Well, I'm not going to be able to do anything. We're kind of stuck in the hotel. I'm not gonna say stuck, but we're not leaving the hotel. We're just focused on game day. So we're not really doing anything.
Okay, thank you.
Ahmad was limited in the last game with his ankle. I know he's back practicing now, but missing him for 2/3 of the snaps the other day, what does that mean to your D-line? Just how key will he be to have back?
Well, Ahmad is a huge key in our D-line. He's twitchy, strong. He can pass rush, stop the run. But missing him for the second half of the game, it's big, not because how dominant he is, but because of the depth. So now our other guys are getting tired because they got to get more reps. I think all three of not all three, four of them, Mondo, Jay Scott, Ahmad, and Blay, they're all guys who can play at the same level. Obviously, they have their different things they're better at than other guys. But the hardest thing about losing Ahmad for that second half of the game is, tiring our interior guys out. So having him in the game gives less snaps for other guys, and then it's fresh guys every drive.
And he's looked good this week.
Yeah, he looks good.
Okay.
You were talking about not giving up, perseverance, the whole thing. That's really been the story of your college football career. I mean, you've just been through so much with the injuries and the different things you've had to deal with.
Yeah, it's been a long road, with all the injuries and stuff. But you can't lose faith. You gotta trust in God, trust in yourself, trust in the work, and just keep striving for greatness.
And all that said, what does it mean to you to be here this week on this stage?
I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. I think about it every single day. Like I'm so happy to be in the position that I'm in right now because a lot of guys aren't in this position. So I'm just truly blessed.
Akheem, what's unique about Ole Miss, the way they try to block against for the run game and protect their quarterback?
I don't think their blocking scheme is any different than other teams. What's different about them is how fast they go. So that's what's going to get you going. So hard count and speed. If a team that moves fast doesn't allow your defense to get lined up, and now you're not locked in, and you hear a clap, and you're not locked in, you're not lined up, and they catch you off sides, whatever it is. They're just a team that moves very fast. You got to be prepared for that. You got to be able to get the call and line up as fast as you can.
What's the difficulty about defending Trinidad Shambles?
His ability to escape the pocket. He can throw the ball, but he can extend the play 5, 6, 7 seconds. So you got to be able to contain him, keep him in that pocket, and limit his escapability.
Do you like running after quarterbacks, or you prefer just to have them pose for a statue back there?
I'm not gonna say I like going against running quarterbacks because it's very annoying when they start escaping. But I'm up for whatever challenge.
Does it help that you guys have faced a lot of them this year? Do you guys have an idea of what you have to do?
Yeah, we've definitely faced a few, and I think that's what helped us going into the Texas A&M game because we faced so many running quarterbacks. Now we know how to contain quarterbacks and keep them in the pocket.
You faced a running quarterback who's as accurate as Trinidad this year. Is there like a comparison?
We face somebody who can run as good as he can, but when it comes to throwing and running, no, I don't think we have. Or maybe Texas A&M, he was really good. He could throw the ball and run the ball, but I think Trinidad is better.
Sort of remind you of a guy who you practiced against a lot last year?
Yeah.
Is this the challenge of the season for you guys, this offense?
Yeah, I would say so.
Akheem, I was curious if you could shed light on the way you play, but ever since you've been in Miami, your perspective, you've always been very vocal about providing good perspective, but on the field, it changes for you. We see off the field smiling. Can you just talk about your mindset when you're on the field and the way you play, your approach to the game?
I think everybody approaches the game differently. Some people like to be angry. Some people like to be calm. I like to be happy. I got to be in my happy place, to play as good as I want to. Because when I do get mad or try to stay upset and try to get violent and, all angry and stuff, I don't play as well as I usually do. So for me, the same way I am off the field is how I am on the field. Obviously, if I make a play, I'll, maybe lash out with flex or whatever it is. But I'm happy on and off the field, and that doesn't really change.
Have you always been like that? Just have you always been like? Was that something you had to feel like you had to grow into? That it was okay to be the same way, or is it
I've always been like that. What I've had to learn is not to be angry, or like try not to be all mad and stuff while playing. Because sometimes I have tried to do that, like try to like convince myself to get mad, and it just wasn't great.